Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
Browns and Bengals unseasonably warm for this AFC North matchup. The Bengals, one of four unbeaten. First time in the 47-year franchise history at 7-0. Short sleeve weather it is. Phil had to leave his Argyle sweater at home for this one. 65 and clear conditions as we get ready to get this one started. This being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. The Browns called tails. It was heads. So Cincinnati said, we're going to send the football down to you guys. First, we'll put Manziel and that offensive unit on the field first. So Justin Gilbert is the deep man for the Mike Nugent kick. And the Battle of Ohio, round one, is underway. And that is not going to be returnable. So we'll bring the Browns and Manziel for the fourth time starting in his NFL career. The second time this season. He started week 2 and led Cleveland to a home victory over Tennessee and connected on a couple of deep balls in that game.
Well, you look at this, Jim, we talked to the players and coaches last night, and to a man, they all said the same thing. They really expect Johnny Manziel, he played well against Tennessee, like you said, to come out, play well. They've had a couple of days to get ready. Do they have some different answers for this defense than they had late last year when it was just a horrific game for their offense and Johnny Manziel?
They just shut him down, and here they fake the pass, they give it to Crowell, he goes up the middle for 3. Yeah, it was a rough outing. That was December 14th. After Cleveland won here in this spot 52 weeks ago, we were here for it. 24-3 win led by Brian Hoyer. The Browns got up to 7-4 last year, but by the end of the year, Manziel got a couple of starts. They lost 30-0 in that game at home in December, mid-December against the Bengals. He threw 2 picks, produced only 5 first downs.
Well, listen, they were excited. The Cincinnati Bengals couldn't wait to play Johnny Manziel because of all the publicity. Some of that's worn off. We'll see if this defensive line can dominate like last year.
In the pocket, now moving, and Manziel on 2nd and 7. Actually had it in the hands of Crowell, who couldn't make the catch. Atkins was pressuring Manziel on his first throw.
So many good pass rushers and defenders. Number 97, Geno Atkins. What a year he's having. Boy, you see how he pushes the pocket, and then outside he has 2 very good defensive ends, and Michael Johnson and Carlos Dunlap, who love it when he gets pressure inside so they can get those easy sacks.
Right away, they put the Browns into a passing situation on 3rd and 7. They bring in Duke Johnson Jr. Manziel again, pressure, gets it away, and that's a first down. Nice grab by Benjamin, who is his favorite target based on what we saw against Tennessee. That's a 9-yard completion and a first.
Well, they pressure him right away. Outside blitz. You're going to see it coming, Jim. And listen, Reggie Nelson unblocked. Manziel sees it off his back foot. That is a way to get your confidence going, making a play like that when there's really nothing there.
Based on what happened in that game last December, what's something we should look for that will be different about Manziel when he's throwing the football tonight?
Well, you know, a couple things. One, I think they'll keep him in the shotgun more, and they got to find a way to block the outside edges to get him out there.
And here he is in the pocket, and that one wobbling in the direction of Duke Johnson. Manziel, the 22nd pick in the first round a year ago, just age 22. Of course, Heisman Trophy winner down at Texas A&M. And now one of 9 quarterbacks to start for Cleveland since Dalton was drafted out of TCU 4 years ago and became the immediate starter. Dwayne Bowe has come in, free agent signee in the offseason, who's been injured with a hamstring most of the year. He's only been up for 3 games. There's McCown, who's out with rib and shoulder injuries. 2nd and 10, Crowell gets the call. Trying to run behind Mack, his center, and that's good for only 1. Vincent Ray is there to meet him.
Well, you know, Jim, talking to Joe Thomas, the left tackle, you asked him some questions. Interesting. He goes, Johnny Manziel is not the same guy that he was last year. One, he's practicing differently, all that, but he says he can call the plays in the huddle. His cadence, he's taking more control of the team, and I think that's why everybody was excited to see how he was going to perform here tonight against a very good defense.
Got Marlon Moore in as an extra receiver. They just converted on 3rd and 7. Now it's a 3rd and 9. And it looked like Thomas was out early.
Full start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Coach Pettin having to diffuse how this all these trade talks when the deadline passed on Tuesday. Nothing happened, but Thomas was the center of a lot of attention, and from all reports was close to being dealt to the Denver Broncos.
Well, like they didn't have enough problems, all the injuries, he had to deal with it. Actually, the rumors came out last Sunday morning before they played a game, but he quieted down, got the team on track, he thinks.
3rd and 14. And they break through that offensive line, forcing Manziel on the run, and it's batted away by Adam Jones. Intended again for Benjamin. And after picking up 1 first down, the Browns now will have to bring out Andy Lee to punt.
Well, a couple things I noticed on that drive. One, you can see the Bengals defensive line. They're not worried if he gets outside the pocket. We'll chase him down. And Adam Jones is having an unbelievable year at corner. Great coverage by him.
Adam Jones is the returner, and of course he is one of the absolute bests. 2nd right now in the AFC return average. And Andy Lee, who they traded for from San Francisco in the offseason, doesn't get a lot of mileage out of that one as it soars to the sideline. And they mark it at about the 37, just a 29-yard punt. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Call of Duty Black Ops 3, available tomorrow. And by the all-new Mazda CX-3. Mazda, driving matters. For over 130 years, bicycle playing cards made right here in the local Cincinnati area. As Thursday Night Football continues, and our first look at the Bengals offense, and they'll start out from their own 37.
Here we go. Look at this formation. Well, going back, want to check the Browns, make sure they know how to line up to some unusual formations, which you see every week from the Bengals.
Give it to Hill, who cuts back to the middle and takes it all the way out to the 44 for a gain of 7. You talked about earlier all the options that Andy Dalton has on that offense, and Andy Dalton's having a very good year this year.
Well, he is doing smart, taking the leadership of the team. Jim, you talked about it. We watched him at practice yesterday. We met everybody. And there's no doubt, 5th year in the NFL, 4 playoff appearances, a lot of success. You should have confidence, especially when you have a team that's good at every position right now on the offensive side.
Well, you just saw the graphic. Only Brady and Rodgers have more wins since he came into the league. And they got a first down off Hill out to the 50. Marvin Lewis, 13 years now on the sideline, the 2nd longest tenured coach in the league behind Bill Belichick. This is his 100th regular season game at Paul Brown Stadium as the head coach, 200th overall in his career, having taken the Bengals to the playoffs the last 4 years and certainly well on their way to 5 consecutive postseason berths. First down throw, and Dalton right off the back of the defender, Tramon Williams, and Tracy Wolfson with us down on the sideline. Tracy?
Well, thanks a lot. You guys were just talking about Andy Dalton and how he is a different quarterback this year, and a lot of it has to do with that leadership. Left tackle Andrew Whitworth told me it is his confidence, his command of the team. Dalton told me he could feel a difference. The respect the players have for him, he's more vocal, and coaches can feel his presence more. Offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson said he is a totally different guy, Jim.
Yeah, I think we noticed that just the way he carried himself in our meetings yesterday. Different than what we've seen in the past. He keeps it here and nowhere to go and loses a yard. Now, after they lost their playoff game, again, 1 and out last year for the 4th consecutive year, Marvin Lewis ordered a little, sit-down dinner with the Daltons. Talk about expectations moving forward.
Well, just everything that Tracy said, you've said, I've said already. They expect more. They want him to be the leader of the team. In other words, when he walks in the locker room, you got to make all those players sit up and go, yes, he's our quarterback. He's the man. He leads our team. And so far, it's all worked great. And he is the leader of this football team.
All right, it's 3rd and 11. The Browns couldn't stop Arizona last week on 3rd down. And here it's Marvin Jones slashing across the middle and then ridden down from behind by Armani Bryant. Just a week ago, the Cardinals had 13 out of 16 conversions. This one on 3rd and 11 goes for 29.
Well, sometimes when you try to do too much in disguise on the defensive side, there's going to be a mistake. Everybody at the line of scrimmage, he knows he's got it picked up, and he sees Marvin Jones going across the field, covered by a defensive lineman.
All the way down to the Browns 22. Eric Winston is wide to the right. Here's a little different look. And they swing it over to Jones, try to set up a little bubble screen over there for Jones, who just took it for 29 on the previous play. This one good for 2.
Well, this is something they like to do. You see all the players on the top of the field. They get 3 guys on each side, and what Andy Dalton does, as you watch it, he can run the reads, the zone read with the running back, or throw a screen to the right or to the left. He counts the numbers. That time it said go to the right. He made a good decision.
Yeah, well, he had Winston to the right wide and Whitworth to the left. More conventional look here on 2nd and 8. They will shift around and give you some creative looks. One of the best in the league at that. Here's Hill. And nothing there for Jeremy Hill. 148 against this Browns defense last December. In the second half of the year, he was the leading rusher in the league the last 9 weeks. Hasn't been the same, though, the start of this year, the success he had the back end of his rookie season.
You're 7-0. You're looking for things that you want to improve on your football team. Marvin Lewis, Hugh Jackson, they know they've got to get Jeremy Hill getting those tough yards, which you need in big games when you're playing great competition. And good start for Jeremy Hill here tonight.
3rd and 8, and catch is made by Sanu. What about forward progress? And they're going to give him the spot that's going to yield another first down and another. Well, let's see about that. It could be another long 3rd down conversion given up by this Browns defense. They're going to call for a measurement off this one.
Boy, good timing. I think that's the other thing. Andy Dalton being in his 5th year, just the confidence to read the defense, let it go. And when you're a quarterback and you're confident in your decision making, he's throwing the football well physically. Means good results.
It's not a first down. Inches shy. It's 4th and a foot.
Well, they're going to go for it, I think. And the thing about playing, when you talk about this Bengals offense, you always have to be on high alert, Jim. What for? Because this could be, if you sell out and try to stop an inside run, he could run a reverse, an option play with the quarterback. So as Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator for the Bengals, says, we attack. That's what we do. Put the defense on edge. Don't let them attack us. And I think everybody who watched the Bengals plays agree with what he's doing.
Well, Eifert's been such a red zone threat for them this season. If they try anything, the tight end could be the target. They got Ryan Hewitt lined up in the backfield. That's a common sight. Croft an additional tight end. Hill is the tailback, 4th and inches. And it's Hill powering straight ahead inside the 10 for the first down.
Well, you said it, Hewitt. This is what they like. The lead tight end, really a fullback. And the Browns did the right thing. What a block by Hewitt. They played it safe because I know they realized, let's see if they can score on first down just inside the 10-yard line. Instead, if you gamble, maybe you give up an easy touchdown.
1st and goal to go. And Dalton steps back into the gun. Over the top to Eifert. He's across for the touchdown. What a red zone presence he's been for this team this year.
Well, he's a difference maker. They love this set of plays where Andy Dalton can hand it off, throw a screen, run it himself, or read the defense. Watch it. Eifert to the backside and just sticks it in there quick. They seam patterns, right up that angle, right off the tackle where the tight end is. They do it with all the skilled players on their offense.
I think he's the main reason why they're the second best team in touchdown conversion inside the red zone. Tyler Eifert in his third year out of Notre Dame, their first-round pick. Back in 2013, Nugent adds the extra point. Even Brian Kelly, Eifert's coach at Notre Dame, said it best perhaps. Eifert turns field goal drives into touchdowns. Tyler Eifert has just caught his 7th touchdown of the season, which ties Gronkowski for the most touchdowns by a tight end this year. Look at his season.
Second, first. That's pretty good stuff. And when you got one of the best wide receivers in A.J. Green, you can run the football. They are taking advantage of throwing the football up the field to Tyler Eifert.
Of course, Eifert was out last year with the elbow injury. And has he really emerged in his third year? So through the back of the end zone, the Cleveland defense couldn't stop him on that first series, including not able to stop him on a couple of 3rd and longs. It ends with an Eifert touchdown. Tomorrow, his impact on the game is immeasurable, but he lost what he cherished most. A Football Life, Paul Brown, tomorrow at 9 only on NFL Network. Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Coach Brown's alma mater, the cradle of coaches. Notables like Ara Parsegian, Weeb Eubank, Oshim Beckler, John Harbaugh. Well, last year, the same matchup on the first Thursday of November, the Bengals never found the end zone. They find it tonight on their first drive, 63 yards in 10 plays. And now here's the second chance for the series for Manziel and the Browns, and a quick little toss over to Taylor Gabriel, and he's got 3. Well, the quarterback situation, as far as how the time's been allocated, McCown got hurt in that week 1 game against the Jets, so Manziel had to come in and then start week 2. Led him to victory week 2, but they said all along McCown would get his job back. And he's been the starter through week 8 then. Talking about McCown, although there was some mop-up duty for Manziel in the closing minutes of the last 2 games. That's Duke Johnson for 5. And, you know, Josh McCown has had a very solid year statistically. 11 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Hurry up now for the Browns on 3rd and 2. Look at this time. Got the first down. Completes the pass to Jim Dre. Only his 5th reception of the year, and they gave Manziel plenty of protection. It leads to 13.
The Bengals defense was not ready. First off, the offensive line, nice job giving him extra time, but that quick snap, changing the rhythm of the game, that's what they needed to do after that first series, which they couldn't block any of the defensive linemen of the Bengals. So John DeFilippo, the offensive coordinator, trying a few different things. Expect to see more for Johnny Manziel as the game goes on.
Takes the handoff to Crowell, rolls out, gets it over to Barnidge, who's got, it looks like, 10 more. You know, back to McCown for a moment. 1-6 as a starter, number 1 rated quarterback in the league this year on 3rd down, but rib injuries, he's talking about, has been tough breathing, much less sleeping, and they sit him down tonight.
You said his stats are very good. Listen, in his case, the stats don't lie. He has played extremely well for this Cleveland Browns football team, especially on the offense, under a lot of pressure, made a lot of big throws in big moments, and especially, like you said, on 3rd down.
And he's been a big help getting Manziel ready for this start tonight.
Little pistol that time.
And Crowell has a lane and then sidesteps the tackle attempt.
Well, when I say pistol offense, that means it's a shotgun formation with the running back behind Johnny Manziel. And you see that. I expect to see him back there more. Johnny Manziel, of course, not the tallest quarterback in the NFL. Easy for him to throw. Nice block that time by Alex Mack. Washes it down the line of scrimmage so Crowell can get in there and get those extra yards.
Yeah, it picks up 14 on that carry. And the Browns showing some pizzazz on this second series. Crowell again. Down to about the 33. Give him 3 more.
Well, you talk about this Cleveland Browns rushing offense. It's the second worst in the NFL. Look, there's many reasons for that, situations you're in and all that. But the one thing I want to see that they do here tonight, Jim, you can't play 3 running backs and think you're going to get them all involved in the game. And so far it's been Isaiah Crowell, and we saw a little of Duke Johnson, who I think can do the different kind of things, beat linebackers one-on-one in the passing game if they decide to do that.
Well, there's Johnson brought over here near side in the slot. Bibbs is in as an extra tight end. 2nd and 8. After Manziel, who's able to escape what would have been a sack and a big loss. And instead he scrambles out for 4. Some nifty moves by Manziel.
Yeah, it's a great job by him. It is. I'm not going to take anything away. Michael Johnson just collapsed the pocket. But Duke Johnson, his first read, is going across the middle. He's wide open. But that's just a difference. You know, you got to get used to the game. That's his style.
Well, he talked to us about being decisive and being precise. He just didn't trust himself, he found, when he got into games last year.
That's right. He didn't. His first instinct is if he doesn't like the first look, he takes off and runs.
3rd and 4. Sets it up for Crowell. And Crowell, nice move for the first down. And lowers the shoulder pads on Iloka. And has the first down inside the 15. A 15-yard gain.
He comes across the formation. Nobody has him, and that's what you have to do. Outside there, Isaiah Crowell, great job. Make the first guy miss. A really confidence builder for this Browns offense. And a good play call, too.
Yeah, he got right around Leon Hall, who had the one-on-one attempt to bring up 4th down. Instead, Crowell's move sets him up at the 15. Dwayne Bowe is back out there, still looking for a first catch of the year. And there it is. Dwayne Bowe, they've been waiting in Cleveland to see him live up to the contract he got in the offseason, a longtime Kansas City Chief wide receiver.
Well, he had a great offseason. You know, all the OTAs where they're practicing during the summer, it worked well. Came back to training camp and immediately hurt that hamstring and has never really got back in position where they can put him in the game. But they need him, Jim, because it is one of the smallest wide receiver groups, probably the smallest in the NFL when you take him out of it.
And they also need him because Hartline's out with a concussion. Hawkins is out with a concussion. 2nd and 6. Manziel stepping up, tucking it under, and near the first down yardage.
This is why you put him in the shotgun. One of the reasons why you're seeing it, they spread the defense out, and now you have only 4 guys that have to try to contain Johnny Manziel. And that time, one defensive end goes up the field. There's nobody inside, and Manziel made a good decision to run with the football.
And he ran it for 7 and got the first down. 1st and goal. Duke Johnson, the running back. Here he is, the rookie. Gives back about 3 or 4. On him right away was Brandon Thompson.
Brandon Thompson's really the pass rushing defensive tackle that plays inside. Him and Pat Sims switch week to week. If they think the team is going to run, they play Pat Sims. You expect the pass, you put in Brandon Thompson. That was a big loss in a situation like that. It had to be a mistake by the offensive line.
It lost actually 5, and they bring Barnage in, who was out on that last snap. We talked about Eifert for the Bengals in the red zone. Here's another great breakout star at tight end, Barnage. 2nd and goal. Manziel, end zone, incomplete. Trying to connect with Gabriel. Jones on the coverage.
Well, we talked about it. Adam Jones just stays. As you watch it here as a defensive back from above. And the initial coverage, I don't see really any place you can go with the football. And at the top of your screen, Adam Jones stays with Gabriel the whole time. And it would have taken a perfect throw to get it in there.
13th play of this drive coming up. They marched down to the 4, had 1st and goal from there. And now it's 3rd and goal at the 9. Here's Manziel from the pocket, back to the end zone, and right over the top of Barnidge. Never a chance.
Not many options. You said it when you're trying to throw high passes to the back of the end zone. He's just going to run the seam. They had 3 receivers to the left. It's a little double move, and good job. Vontaze Burfict doesn't bite on the underneath route, and that's why Johnny Manziel had to throw it too high and over Barnidge's head.
So field goal attempt coming from 27 yards out for the first-year kicker out of the University of Washington, Travis Coons. He hasn't missed this year. Now a perfect 15 of 15 field goals. A drive that lasted over 7 minutes yields 3. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Tostitos Chips and Dips. Bring the party. And by Verizon. Watch live, local, and primetime games on NFL Mobile, included only on Verizon. The Cincinnati Zoo opened its doors back in 1875, second oldest zoo in the nation behind Philadelphia's. And meanwhile, back over here at the place known as the Jungle. Full house on a beautiful balmy night in Bingletown. The Browns offense showing a spark on that last series, but then unable to do anything after a 1st and goal at the 4, except settle for the field goal. One hopper to Jones. Oh, they had him back there near the 5, and he's able to get an extra 10 out of it to end quarter number 1. Cincinnati 7, Cleveland 3. We'll return after these messages. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Start of the second quarter in Cincinnati. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson on hand here as the Bengals start the second quarter from the 15. That long drive by the Browns. This is only the second series of the game for Cincinnati as we start the second quarter with a scramble out to the 21 for Andy Dalton for a gain of 6.
Well, what they did, you have 2 tight ends in the backfield, and they're trying to get a deep crosser here, and it's going to be there for Eifert, but the pressure inside, Danny Shelton pushes the pocket and makes Andy Dalton get out of there, but a good job of scrambling.
That's what the Browns fans want to hear about Danny Shelton, their rookie out of Washington, and the 12th overall pick in the draft. 2nd and 4. They go to Hill on the left side, and he's chopped up by Tramon Williams, the former Packer who came on board as a free agent in the offseason. Mohamed Sanu is mic'd up tonight. Let's listen in.
When the lights is on, we turn up.
Sanu had a 3rd down conversion catch. The first time Cincinnati had it. 3rd and 3. They bring in Bernard, who hasn't had a touch to this point, and they get to the quarterback. That is Desmond Bryant with the sack, his 3rd of the year. And the Cleveland defense, after not being able to stop Cincinnati the first time, 3 and out, they forced this one.
Yeah, it's the coverage down the field was first. It was very good, but he beat the guard, Clint Bowling, and you don't gamble on the defensive side like they did the first drive, Jim, and gave up that big play. That time they played everything simple, and it worked well.
Kevin Huber.
Short.
Ball hits right at the 50. And then it's picked up on bounce by Benjamin. And he's down at the 45. 43-yard punt. Desmond Bryant, and the Browns defense responds this time. Tonight's Skycam is being presented by Mazda. Back here at Paul Brown Stadium, which, well, opened back in 2000, the Jungle, and this being the 84th meeting between these franchises. Boy, Crowell looked good on that last series when the Browns had it. A couple of big gainers. Get him down the field. Pekka was trying to get a call there to no avail. And here is Crowell. And he had a body on him right away. Who else but Geno Atkins, so quick across that line.
Well, he can do it all. There's no doubt. But you talk about that last drive. It got some life into the team. The defense came out and stopped that Cincinnati's offense, I think, because they got rested. They got into the game. But what did they do the last drive? A little no huddle to keep it going on a third down. They had a rollout pass for Johnny Manziel. And then, of course, what they want him to do is to make some of those plays. And we saw a couple of them in that drive for the field goal. Nothing's there. Get out of the pocket. Pick up some yards.
They send Johnson, the rookie running back, wide to the right. 2nd and 10. Set up screen left, though, with Crowell. Got a nice block out there. And it ends up being a gain of 4. Batonio was the one who took out one Bengal. I thought it might be a bigger gain. And there's Burfict. It's a little slow to get up. And, of course, last week just made his return after a little more than a year away off a knee injury.
Watch the left guard, Bentonio, like you said, and he does get out there. Makes a great block to pick up the extra yards against Vinny Ray.
Lemur has come in. Burfict out. 3rd down, Cleveland. Needing to get to the Bengals 48 for the first. Dangerous throw, and it's knocked down by Leon Hall. Thrown in the direction of Gabriel. And a 3-and-out for Cleveland as well.
Great job. You're going to see Leon Hall does the little snag route inside is all over, but they did blitz. And Johnny Manziel wanted to get out of this pocket, but he couldn't because they kept 5 guys around him, had to stand in there and throw it, and the coverage was good.
Second punt for Andy Lee. His first one traveled just 29 yards. This one bounces at the 6 and into the end zone. So only a net of 34. Dalton and the Bengals try to dial up another drive. Up 7-3 when we come back. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Adidas. Welcome to new speed. And by Outback Steakhouse. Hurry in for steak and seafood pairings starting at just $14.99. A tip of the cap to Coach Tom Bolden and Coleraine High School of Cincinnati. They secured their 16th consecutive conference title last week. They're going to go face now Dublin Kaufman Saturday night in the first round of the playoffs.
Yep. No Coleraine. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, so I heard a lot about them. They've had a good football program for many years.
Bernard is the running back. Here's his first touch. He is pancaked. Starks with that tackle, that a flag now comes out. And it's probably going to be a taunting call against Starks.
Well, it's going to be 15 yards.
You make a great play and you've cost your team 15.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. 94 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
You know what you can't do. Watch number 94. Starks, great job, gets the tackle. All legal, but then he stands over the running back and then talks, makes gestures, and that's why they throw the flag. Walked over him.
Why? I mean, why do that? You just made a brilliant play. Let your actions speak for themselves. He's been brought over to the sideline now. 12-year veteran, a couple of years in the Pro Bowl. You'd think he'd be beyond that.
Well, this game now, you know the rules. I'm not going to disagree with it. You got to keep your emotions in check. That was a big play for for the Browns defense.
So Bernard takes it on the sweep for about 9. We talked about it a little bit earlier. When you talk about Cincinnati, so many different weapons and so creative. What do you do?
Absolutely. You know, that's what Hugh Jackson wants to do. Mike Pettin and Jim O'Neill, the defensive coordinator and head coach of the Cleveland Browns, what did he say to us? Man, I got to have a good game tonight. I got to guess with this offense, take some chances against the run so they don't get run over. And don't take chances against the pass because they'll throw it over your head in a heartbeat.
2nd and 1.
Hands up.
Bernard able to get away from the line of scrimmage and take it into the secondary before Campbell ends it after another 10.
Well, the blocking, it's not that they blew him off the line of scrimmage, but no defensive lineman can get off the block, and Bernard goes sideways. So you've got to give Bodine and Kevin Zeitler excellent job inside. No defensive lineman can shake away, and really Clint Bowling, the left guard, held in there so long that Bernard finally cut it behind him.
Yeah, he carried it the last 3 plays, picked up 20 yards. Plus they got the taunting penalty, so now at the Cleveland 45. Empty backfield for Dalton. And Dalton pass knocked down. Greg Robertson is the one who got a hand on it. Cincinnati, again, history for this franchise. Never been 7-0. 3.5 game lead inside the division already. Comeback wins against Baltimore, Seattle, and Pittsburgh. And that red zone, we've already seen that work on both sides. The 3rd best at producing touchdowns, 2nd best at preventing touchdowns. See both of those at work tonight. Bernard gets right back into the lineup and moves the pile down to the 37, running hard. Sunday at 9 on NFL Network, some of the greatest quarterbacks ever sound off on Peyton Manning's record-breaking career. NFL Game Day morning live Sunday at 9 only on NFL Network. And we're going to see Peyton and the Broncos at Indianapolis on Sunday. 284 yards for Peyton, and he'll pass Favre for the all-time pass yardage record. Wouldn't it be something if he went back and achieved that record in Indianapolis?
Justin Gilbert, last year's first-round draft pick, is now in the game at left corner.
Well, it's only the 9th snap of the year for him on defense. And they get it over to A.J. Green. And Tramon Williams holds on by 1 leg. Gain of 11. Now look what happened last week. When he catches it and what happens after the catch as you look at your next-gen stats.
Well, you know what I like about this? It tells you he lines up in different positions. They know he's a premier receiver. They're big weapon. So what do? They give him a lot of different options, and they get him the football, and they get him involved. So it's what they like to do, this Bengals offense. Try to get everybody the football as fast as you can in the game to get them in rhythm and get their confidence going.
1st and 10. Fake to Bernard and going to the end zone. And that might bring out a flag. No, it doesn't. That was Gilbert they were trying to work on. Justin Gilbert.
Well,
one-on-one with Marvin Jones.
Very few snaps this year for him out there at corner, but he's in great position this time. Well, he does make contact early. I thought it was a good play when I saw it live, but he hit Marvin Jones before the football even got close.
It looked to me right away. I mean, you saw the helmet get snapped. Dalton can't believe it, but they do not call it. 2nd down and 10 from the 27. And it's Bernard for another 4.
You know, that's the one thing they got to be careful about, Jim. We talked about this Bengals offense already, how all the stuff they do, but they are not afraid to throw it deep down the field. They're not worried about completing 80% of the passes. So they see that one-on-one outside, they will throw the deep ball. In Cleveland, if you made me criticize one thing about their defense, they put so much pressure on those outside corners to cover situations just like we saw with Gilbert. This looks like they're going to do it across the board.
3rd and 6, and Eifert comes back in next to his right tackle, and a whistle first, and a timeout was called before the snap. Called by Cincinnati.
Blitz confused them. Good job of calling timeout.
30-second timeout. 7:09. Thank you.
It's really quite a tandem they have here at running back in Cincinnati. You talk about the quickness, Giovanni Bernard, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, power running of Jeremy Hill. And again, like everything else, the Bengals across the board, virtually every position, they've got talent.
Jim, last year we did their playoff game against the Indianapolis Colts. They had no talent out there on the offense. Everybody was hurt. Eifert, Marvin Jones, A.J. Green. It was amazing who they put out there. That cannot be an excuse now. A veteran, experienced, talented offensive line, and you said it, every position on the field is one or two deep.
They've had 7 different players handle the football. So for 3rd and 6. Pick up the first down. With Sanu forcing 2 Cleveland players to bring him down. His second conversion of the game.
Well, Mohamed Sanu at Rutgers was a option quarterback and caught over 100 passes also. Well, I should say a Wildcat quarterback at the time. So you saw him in practice. He's a big guy, tough. He knew how to run the football in college as a quarterback, and he's carried it over to being a full-time wide receiver here in the NFL.
2 catches on the game for 16 yards, and again, both of them picking up first to sustain drives, and rolling out and throwing it out of bounds is Dalton, who's now 6 out of 10 with a touchdown pass in the first quarter to Eifert.
Well, Marvin Lewis, talking to him, of course, he's great to us. Gosh, you get to go out and practice it. If I said, hey, Coach, I need to stand in the huddle and listen to what's going on, I go, sure, go ahead. You know, so it's pretty cool to be here. But I think they know, Jim, this team is set up now. They're 7-0. The chemistry's good. They like everything. The window for these next couple of years is set for this Bengals team to get it done.
2nd and 10. They get it back to Eifert. He's dragged down by Dansby near the 9. You talk about that window, and that's something that Marvin Lewis talked to the team about recently. He looked around and saw Dalton, he saw A.J., he saw Clint Bowling. They all came in together back in 2011, and he said, I've stood before you guys like 70 times. This is moving pretty quickly. We got here to year 5 of your career pretty quickly. You got to make a move when it is your time.
There you go. Well said. We've been together long enough. It's time to get it done.
3rd and 5 from the Cleveland 9. Here's the pass to Jones, and not nearly enough for the first. Stopped a couple yards short. Jones shoved out of bounds there by Williams.
Well, what they did, Andy Dalton, here we go.
Keep the offense out there.
Keep the offense out there.
It's not 4th and 1. We're talking 4th and a couple here.
Don't jump off sides. That was the first thing I would look for is the snap count by Andy Dalton.
They pass up the 24-yard field goal attempt, presumably. Yep, they're going for it with the pass off the ground, and a flag comes out. Try to get it over to Green.
Is it offsides or illegal formation?
Offside. Defense. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Yeah, it looked like it was an offside that really didn't even affect that play, but it was offside, and a killer penalty against Pettin's team.
I couldn't hear the call. It was mixed up, but I think they said 94 was offside. So they had to line up offsides. I did not see anybody jump. I think that was a run play too, and Andy Dalton decided to throw the quick pass outside, which Cleveland was all over. Well, they lined up offsides.
It was Randy Starks who got flagged with the taunting call at the start of the drive. Bernard into the pile for 1.
And they were, I questioned the call going for it. Cleveland was expecting an inside run, so Andy Dalton did the right thing, threw it outside. But even if the pass was good, I think he was going down. Great reaction by the defense, but 2 huge mistakes in this drive by this Cleveland defense.
Both of them by Starks. 2nd and goal. Here's Dalton, having to roll out, flips it, and it's caught. Touchdown, Eifert again.
The coverage was outstanding. Nobody's open. The play action pass didn't fool the defense at all. 85 watching. Everybody, you could see they got it, but the adjustment by Eifert, the movement by Andy Dalton, and the throw on the run going to the left was perfect.
Good.
You give a good offense so many chances, what do you expect? It's going to lead to a touchdown.
Eifert just engulfs that football, scoring both touchdowns on the night. Tonight, 2 prospects make it to training camp and now fight for roster spots on undrafted. Then Football Town, Barrow, Alaska. The Whalers getting ready for the playoffs. Season finales for 2 hit NFL Network original series tonight after the postgame, only on NFL Network. Eifert now has 8 touchdown catches on the season. That's 1 short of the Cincinnati season record by a tight end, which is held jointly by Rodney Holman and Bob Trumpy.
I knew you were going to say Bob Trumpy. Great voice. And a good guy.
Absolutely. Gilbert swallowed up, the ball's out. And falling on it there is Bonamosi. Bonamosi with the recovery, but Gilbert gets somersaulted. Might have been down anyway. He was. Tripped up there by Cedric Pierman. Again, a crucial mistake here on 4th and 2 from the 6. And that's Randy Starks lined up really well past where he needs to be.
They'll give you a break, I think, a lot of times. You know, in other words, if it's close, they won't call that, but that was not close. He was offsides. It wasn't in the neutral zone.
Got the Bengals the first down, and then the touchdown pass to Eifert. And it's 14-3 from the 8. Quick slant to Benjamin for 7. Approaching 4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Now, I think the one fear that when you look at this Cleveland offense and you see these 3 small wide receivers, his defensive backs getting up close to you and beating you at the line of scrimmage and giving the passing game no chance.
That's Crowell. A good burst out to about the 20 for another 5. And the first. Next Thursday on NFL Network, Rex Ryan returns to face his former team as the Bills take on the Jets. And you can only see it on NFL Network. Thursday Night Football next Thursday at 8. Again, only on NFL Network. Buffalo at the Jets.
I keep waiting to see the play where they give Johnny Manziel extra time to get away from the line of scrimmage like Russell Wilson so he can throw one deeper down the field.
Pass intended for Barnage. That's Vincent Ray right alongside Barnage, incomplete.
Well, what a year he's having. Leads the team in tackles. Gets in there. They've been beat. Maluga, you said, is out, of course. And we talked about the depth of this football team. So if they lose key starters, they have somebody else to step in and do the job.
We saw Burfict a little gimpy earlier. So there's Maluga. Burfict is back out on the field at linebacker. 2nd and 10. Manziel pumped it a couple of times. Now he's got his open man for the completion to Johnson near the 45.
They got something here. They got to stay with these kind of thoughts because Johnson is going to come across the field and he is open the whole time. If they could have got it to him on time, that is going to be another 15, 20 yards easy. Hard to tackle Duke Johnson in the open field.
Well, he picks up 26.
I've seen him line up a couple of times out there in the slot, and he has been open. So when Johnny Manziel goes to the sideline, you got to point that out to him and make sure he looks his way when you spread it out like that.
That was the longest play for the Browns tonight. And again, a drive that started back at the 8. Now near midfield is Crowell. He gets chop tackled by Atkins.
I think we kind of answered one of the questions we were thinking about as we talk about the game. You know, even though the numbers are not startling when you look at Crowell, at least they're giving him a chance to get in rhythm. And running backs are like quarterbacks, like golfers. Let them keep hitting those shots, and sooner or later they'll make something happen.
And smartly, they're going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning. They have all 3 timeouts still to play with, and if this drive bogs down, they don't want to leave Cincinnati too much time for that matter. So 2 minutes to go in the first half here in Cincinnati with the Bengals in front 14-3. Coming up, the Lexus halftime report, JB Dion and Coach Cower. We'll break down the first half action. Of course, Coach Cower reunited here last couple of days with Marvin. Coach Lewis was Bill's linebacker coach back from 92 through 95 on his Steelers staff. Two of them got together and shared a little dinner last night over at Ruby's. 2nd down and 9 as Manziel's got flags everywhere and flings it down the field to Barnage to the 27. See these flags though. It's a big gainer for the Browns, would match their longest play we saw a moment ago.
Offsides. Defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
Well, you got a lot of signals that it was going to look a whole lot different for this Cleveland offense than it did against Cincinnati last December, and I don't think there's any question about it.
Well, many things. One, they learned from it, what they saw last year, and I think the game plan, of course, is fitting Johnny Manziel. He's a different quarterback right now than he was last year when he played against the Bengals. So far tonight, under control, excellent job of stepping up and throwing it on the run, which is something he does very well.
Well, they're blitzing, and Crowell's able to get past the wave and gallop down to about the 17. He broke away from both Vincent Ray and A.J. Hawk, and a new set of downs coming up.
Sign of a good running back. You can't knock them all down. You got to make people miss, and he made A.J. That time he made A.J. Hawk miss, who came in free. So Crowell. Well, you told me early, kind of reminds you a little bit of
Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory of the New York Jets, the body type.
Yep.
Running hard.
Very similar style. 1st and 10 with 1:14 to go. There's another good run, ripping off 5 this time for Crowell. 9 carries, 42 yards. And again, smartly using the clock here. A lot of people start to panic when they say, hey, the clock's running, we're inside of a minute to go, but they got all 3 timeouts.
3 timeouts. Everything is in their favor. Just take your time, and you said it earlier at the 2-minute warning. Of course, they're going to get many chances. They got enough time to get their plays off. You just don't want to give the Cincinnati Bengals the football once again.
Remember, the Bengals defense, 2nd best in the league in preventing touchdowns in the red zone. And they already clamped down once tonight. When the Browns got down to the 4, 2nd and 5. And Johnson. Here's a timeout coming by Cleveland. Pecco with that tackle.
Well, you know, Jim, I want to tell you, this is why the Bengals are so good in this part of the field, because they don't have to trick it up. They can keep everybody in coverage. It's a shorter field to cover, and you got defensive linemen who can get to the quarterback.
Coming up on the Lexus halftime report, JB Dion, Coach Cower again with their take on the first half. I was mentioning Bill Cower and Marvin Lewis. Not only did Marvin Lewis enjoy a fair amount of time there on Cower's staff, but those two go so far back, growing up in the Pittsburgh area, they actually played youth football against one another. Great friends.
And 2 terrific coaches. Of course, Bill Cower winning the Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Marvin Lewis still trying to get there.
3rd down from the 11. We call it the 12. Manziel in the pocket. Flushed out. Chased, fires, finds for the touchdown. Duke Johnson. Manziel just executes a 92-yard touchdown drive.
Terrific job by Johnny Manziel. I thought for sure 3rd down they would come with the blitz to keep him in the pocket. They did it earlier. It worked. And Dunlap just gets past him, Gets past Dunlap on the outside, and how about Duke Johnson? What a catch.
This kid can really be a threat out of the backfield. We've seen it this year. For all the rookies in the league, he's got the second most receptions and the third most receiving yards, and he had a 26-yard pass play earlier on the drive. But that's 92 yards, Phil, in 10 plays.
Listen, terrific throw on the run. A couple of them in that drive. That was the difference. And the Bengals are going to go in at halftime and go, okay, let's settle down and make sure we keep Johnny Manziel in the pocket.
Longest drive of the season for Cleveland. Starting left guard Joel Bitonio heading to the locker room a little early. He was dinged a couple of plays before the touchdown, but stayed out there. He has not missed a snap now in his first 2 years in the league. I said it's the longest drive of the season for Cleveland. It actually is the Browns' longest touchdown drive since December 1st of 2013.
Well, we'll give it to number 2 there. 3 times he broke the pocket. 3 times he made excellent throws on the run. Look what happens they got a great push on Manziel. Carlos Dunlap comes here, but watch where where they come all the way across the field for the touchdown. Well, Duke Johnson, came out of the backfield. And boy, that's a...
Watch Manziel where he goes after he gets the touchdown.
Hey, you don't need other people to celebrate, Jim. You know, he did it by himself. That was pretty good.
Bengals take a knee, and we're going to the locker rooms with a 14-10 ball game. Good first half of action we had here. Manziel goes 11 out of 18 for 128 and 1 touchdown. Dalton 9 of 13, 77, and a pair of touchdown tosses. Let's go down to Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Coach. What can you say about what you've seen from Johnny Manziel in this offense in the first half?
Well, he's making some plays out of the pocket. There's a couple balls that we want him to make from in the pocket, but you can't argue with his production. He's done a nice job throwing the ball on the run. We'll get him calmed down a little bit in the second half and hopefully get some more production.
Tyler Eifert, 2 touchdowns. How do you have to adjust on him?
It's tough. I don't even know if the second one was intended for him. The upsetting part about that drive is the offsides call. This game should be 10-10.
Thanks a lot. Jim?
Manziel threw for 70 yards on that last drive alone. Halftime at Paul Brown Stadium, and Cincinnati leads it 14-10. We'll be back with Alexa's halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Back in Cincinnati, the Bengals lead it on a pair of Andy Dalton touchdown passes to Tyler Eifert. But what an impressive 92-yard touchdown drive executed at the end of the first half by the Cleveland Browns. You think they're backed up at the 8. If it ends up being a 3-and-out, you got to punt the football to Cincinnati. You're thinking this could be 21-3 at halftime. Plus, they're getting the second half kickoff.
Yeah,
one drive changes everything.
It changed everything. You know, of course, I'm being a little sarcastic. It was like the crowd was rooting for Johnny Manziel a little too. They were excited watching him run around, and he really kept this team in the game with that drive, with his movement, and those throws on the run.
What do you think we're going to see here in the second half?
I think we're going to see a little change in philosophy, especially on the Bengals defense. They got to keep him in the pocket, and they got to play tight man-to-man. This wide receiving core, we talked about it, not to demean them, Jim, but it's small. You can manhandle them, and I think that's what the Bengals should be doing.
First half numbers, Crowell, the top rusher for Cleveland. It was Bernard for Cincinnati, 54 yards apiece. Manziel had more yards in the air than Dalton. 3 penalties, 2 of them costly by Starks on that 1 touchdown drive, the taunting, and then the offsides. Cincinnati not penalized once.
I feel like a weatherman turning here looking at the board. But, you know, the other thing I like what the Cleveland Browns did, they put Crowell in there and gave him more carries and got him into the game. And their run offense has been almost as bad as their run defense. So that's a good surprise for Cleveland going in at halftime.
Manziel in that first half making plays, getting out of the pocket, getting on the run, and getting results too, Phil.
Yeah, the drive, he took him down the field. 3 times he broke the pocket. We showed this play. Nice throw on the run. He's an excellent thrower on the run to his left. And this throw here, great technique, looking to make sure nobody's chasing him. Drop the arm down, throw it sidearm with power. And right on target is Duke Johnson. How about the running back tandem for the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah,
Crowell running and Duke Johnson catching.
Johnson had 2 catches on the touchdown drive. 1 for 26 that got them out of a jam, and then the 12-yard touchdown. Here's Kuhn's kick, and he's got another touchback. Tracy, down to you.
Well, thanks a lot. Marvin Lewis agreed with you, Phil Simms. He said we need to keep the doggone quarterback in the pocket. So that's what they want to see out of him in the second half. Also, they want to limit third downs. As for their offense, he likes the way they've been able to run the ball, but he needs to see bigger plays, Jim.
Wait, did Tracy say he said doggone? Is that what he said? Boy, I mean, you. See, we're in the South, Tracy. That was pretty good. Well, you know about the South, covering the SEC for so many years.
Hill gets the assignment to start the third quarter, and he gets wrapped up rather quickly by Danny Shelton, who was the first-team All-America for the Huskies last year of Washington, as well as first-team academic All-America.
Well, that Washington defense, it seems like every one of them's in the NFL from last year. But Danny Shelton, you said it, #1 draft pick. They need him to be a force in the run game. This defense, we said it, the worst right now in the NFL, but holding up pretty well so far in this game tonight.
And against A.J. Green, they only allowed 1 catch by Green in that first half. It's 2nd and 9, and they're going to go to him right here. And he's fighting for first down yardage, and he's able to get there. I believe, let's see, going to spot it right at the 30, which will be the first. He was battling Desir and picks up the first.
Well, we saw all the zone reads in the first half where Andy Dalton's faking the ball, keeping it, throwing screens. But if you back off these receivers, the Cincinnati Bengals got to lead the league in quick throws to their wide receivers, just like we saw to A.J. Green.
Again, the Browns defense without Joe Hayden, out with a concussion, and Dante Whitner, their safety, Pro Bowler each of the past 3 seasons as well, also back home and out. Then Jones. Martin Jones cutting around one defender. That was Desir, who got stiff arm right in the face guard. And the Bengals have another first down, pick up a 19.
Well, here comes the blitz. This side, Andy Dalton sees it. It's a run play. I see it so much when I watch their games that if you overcommit on the defense, they always have these built-in passes. And it wins games for them. Plays just like that.
Look how scrappy A.J. Green was, again, battling with Desir and getting a block on the second-year cornerback out of Lindenwood at the end of that run. Dalton's hit his last 5 throws, and he's going up top again. Underneath to Hill. And he's pushed back by Ibrahim Campbell, who tonight gets his first career start in for Whitner.
Yeah, you know, Jim, just to go back to this offense, good tackle that time by Campbell in the open field, but almost 80% of the time when they take the field, they get at least 1 first down. So hard to attack it, which we talked about, because of the array of plays.
Here's Dalton, and Kruger's there and drags him down. Paul Kruger.
Well, I got a great view from the top here. Kruger 99, just Winston, it takes so long, and as you look down the field, there was nobody to throw to. I have a great view, and I'm scanning the field like a quarterback, or trying to. Nobody's there, and finally Kruger gets in and makes the sack.
Kruger, the big free agent signee back in 2013, won a ring with the Ravens. He was another one of those discussed in some possible trade deals that never materialized this week. 3rd and 18, they go draw with Bernard, and he is slammed down by Dansby. That'll bring out the punting unit. A run for 11 by Bernard gives him 43 on the ground tonight.
Here's the first down, Jim. Can't draw him, I think. Stop. There it is. But look at all the people. I see this more in the league now than ever. They're just not going to let you catch, run, or run the draw and get those big plays. 8 guys back there waiting to see who gets it. They come up and make the tackle.
Travis Benjamin leads the AFC in punt return average, just ahead of Adam Jones of the Bengals. See if he gets a chance here off the Huber punt. Nope, fair catch. Secures it at the 12 after a 36-yard boot. Let's see if Manziel and the Browns pick up right where they left off at the end of the first half. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. And by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. Cincinnati and Cleveland separated by about 250 miles. The Queen City here of Cincinnati, right on the state line with neighboring Kentucky. And a whistle before the snap.
Full start. Offense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty. First down.
John Hussey and his crew, 4 penalties called tonight on the Browns. You were talking about all that running around by Manziel tonight. As you see, Bitonio, we showed you Bitonio leaving for the locker room a little early before halftime, shaken up a bit, but he's fine. Our next gen stats, so that for the night, just running around down the field and all, 460 total yards. Manziel. Corral finally cuts his losses as Carlos Dunlap is there to fall on him after a loss of 4.
Well, Carlos Dunlap, we saw him in the first half. Number 96, he's the right defensive end, keeps the edge, gets in there, and gives Crowell nowhere to go. What a difference he's made in the team this year, Jim. He's always been a good pass rusher, but this year, so much better against the run. That last play was a great illustration of that.
Yeah, he's had a big year. He's grown up a lot. 6-year player out of Florida. As Marvin Lewis told us, he has truly embraced being a pro and stepping up big time for this Bengals defense. 2nd and 19. Manziel in the end zone, able to get it in to the hands of Crowell to the 10. Give him a little room, gain of 7.
I think that's the 3rd short pass that Johnny Manziel's completed from the pocket. Every other completion has been outside. Inside, oh, there you go, inside the pocket. Boy, been very productive once he gets out there. I keep really waiting for that play action pass to give him a chance to throw the football deeper down the field against one-on-one coverage on the outside.
A 3rd and 12 here for Manziel. Scrambles out of the pocket, and he knows where that yardage is. And they give him the spot for the first down. Leon Hall crashing into him.
Leon Hall, corner for so many years, plays a little safety when he needs to. This is close. And you're right, he knew the first down was there. That's why he took the chance and takes the hit. Look at Carlos Dunlap. He's not even rushing the passer, made a mistake by jumping, and then allowed Manziel to get up the middle.
Ooh, that was helmet. Contact helmet to helmet here, which of course out of the pocket.
That's right. He's a runner. He's not a quarterback trying to slide. That was interesting. You saw a little change on the pass rush. Obvious passing situation.
Boy, how about this? First down. That is. Well, Duke Johnson had almost a touchdown celebration reaction. That's a big one.
It's a big one, is right. Field position, keep your confidence going.
Of course, the yellow line, which is not official, based off of that, it looked like he had it by 3 or 4 inches. But
I would challenge it. I would definitely challenge that call. You can see the yard markers, and if I was Marvin Lewis, I would throw that red flag.
The previous play is now under review.
All right, they're going to look at it from every single angle. A 3rd and 12 scramble. The ruling on the field was Manziel picked up the first down. They'll review it. There are some replays that are going to win the argument here for Cincinnati.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed. The runner was down by contact, short of the line to gain. The ball will be placed on 4th down and 1 on the 21. Cincinnati will not be charged a timeout.
Well, John Hussey and his crew are going to mark it exactly back a full yard, as you'll see here. Mike Carey, let's bring you in from Culver City.
Yes, with the yard marker being at the 22, Manziel has the ball in his right hand. His rear hits short of the 22. The ball is behind that. It's a great challenge by Marvin Lewis. Sets up a 4th down.
Yep, they'll have to punt it now with Andy Lee. And there's Brandon Tate standing back near the 30. Manziel had that collision with Leon Hall. And, of course, with McCown not dressed tonight, the backup quarterback for the Browns tonight is Austin Davis, who got 8 starts a year ago for the Rams. And, again, this is woefully short by Lee. And the reverse bounce, finally down by Crowell. But Cincinnati will have a short field to work with here. 3-time All-Pro first-teamer Andy Lee had a 29-yarder in the first quarter. This one travels only 28 yards. The Bengals win the challenge, and they'll have a good starting point coming up. All right, the Bengals will start this drive at the Cleveland 49. First time tonight that either team has started in opponent territory. Jeremy Hill lined up behind Dalton. And it's Hill up the middle for 5. Week 9 of the season continues Sunday on CBS and Fox. And here's a look at the 1 o'clock Eastern Time window. You can check your local listings. We'll be in the late afternoon window for undefeated Denver at Indianapolis.
One thing we really haven't seen from this Cincinnati offense here tonight is getting the ball down the field. A lot of short throws.
And it's a hookup with Green. Stepping right in front of K1 Williams. Second catch of the half.
Sorry, Jim, just so many ways. It's a fake option zone read by Andy Dalton, and now instead of throwing it outside to a receiver, they do it to the slot receiver. We saw it for the touchdown to Eifert. To me, it's the #1 package of plays that you got to be alert for and stop when you play the Cincinnati Bengals.
Over to Burkhead, and he holds on. Quick slant for a gain of about 7. Undefeated quarterbacks this season, Dalton and the Bengals. Tom Brady, 20 touchdowns, only 1 pick. And you see Cam Newton, 4 rushing touchdowns. Peyton Manning, how about for the 5th time now of his career, starting a season at 7-0. Meanwhile, Dalton here tonight has completed his last 8 passes. Going to the ground on 2nd and 3, and they're going to be about a foot short with Hill.
Well, you know, I talked about not maybe getting the football down the field. One of the reasons why they're playing a little safe on the defensive side. So Andy Dalton, many times, just throwing it underneath and keeping these drives going.
Whether you see what he's done down the field, throwing it 10-plus yards only 1 time tonight. An incompletion. And that was the one where they didn't call the pass interference in the end zone on Gilbert. 3rd and 1, easily getting the first down. The ball at the end is out, and they're ruling it down on the field. Jeremy Hill holding on to that football with a little issue last year, that's for sure, with Hill. They're trying to get him to run a little more north-south right away.
Contact is made, and that is not going to be a fumble, but you said it. They need Jeremy Hill. We talked about it, to be that type of runner, straight ahead, don't waste time going side to side, which they think he's been doing too much of, and you can see the power when he does it.
Here is Bernard. And Bernard, you think of Bernard more as a guy that's going to go east-west, but actually this year, thanks to all the numbers that have been amassed by the next-gen folks, Bernard is quicker to get to that first yard
Right, so as you look at it, 3.1 yards, it takes him to gain a yard, Jim. And the power runner, Jeremy Hill, it takes him 5 yards to gain a yard. So you're saying it right. It's the opposite of what you expect from these two running backs by their style and size.
Bernard again. He's down to about the 5.
I mean, you know, it's almost, I'm going to give Bernard some credit, that the fact that,
you would never expect that.
Yeah, he's tough and gets in there. But that's not why they drafted Jeremy Hill. They don't have Giovanni Bernard here to be the power runner inside. So you said it, Jeremy Hill, quit dancing, be more powerful, and don't take those side-to-side moves that he's been doing. That's why he's covering more yards and getting less down the field because of that.
It's a big 3rd and 2 at the Browns' 5. Dalton kicked it and pays the price. Orchard is there to meet him at the 10-yard line.
Boy, great job by Nate Orchard, staying outside, doesn't go, run down in there and chase the ball carrier. Andy Dalton, that was a good fake because he had me. I was looking inside for the run. But big moments, the zone read, you see with Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, and even Andy Dalton try to catch the defense by surprise there when they, they're expecting the inside run.
Orchard, the 2nd-round draft pick out of Utah, who won the Ted Hendricks Award last year. First team All-America. So 28-yard field goal attempt. Nugent. Hoover down the hold. Kick is good. Nugent now 11 out of 14 on the year. So the Browns defense stiffens in the red zone. 7-point lead for Cincinnati. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league's going to donate $1,000 to its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. The Bengals players, cheerleaders, mascot, visiting the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in conjunction with USAA just a week ago. So the short punt to about midfield led to the Nugent field goal. And we got 4 minutes to go in the 3rd, 17-10 Cincinnati. Gilbert in the middle of that end zone elects not to run it out. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the 2016 Lexus LS and new LX. Polished meets purposeful. We actually have a sign museum here in Cincinnati, the American Sign Museum, dedicated to preserving historic signs, on display here on this, a drive where Cleveland takes the football starting at the 20. Play action fake. Might be the long ball you were looking for. Down the middle of the field and right off the chest of an open Gabriel. Pass was right on the target.
Well, wasn't the long one I was looking for, but what a good read and a nice job by Manziel. Staying in the pocket. It's the second receiver. Barnage goes across. He was covered.
Hit him right on the knee, actually.
There's a good look from the quarterback position. And what I like there, he stepped up, one hitch, didn't hesitate, and drove the football with power. And, of course, should have been caught.
Yeah, should have been a play for over 20 yards. Quickly gets it over to Benjamin, who is tackled down around the neck area by Kirkpatrick for 6.
Well, I heard as I talked to the coaches and players, Johnny Manziel's changed on the field, or what he does in the football environment. They give him assignments, and all those weeks he wasn't starting, Jim, are like chores to make sure he was engaged in the game plan and never complained, always got it done. So we're really happy with that part of what he is doing on the football field.
4th NFL start. Won again week 2 this year against Tennessee, but this has to be his finest performance to date. 3rd and 4. From the pocket, down across the middle, and Barnage had a hand on it, couldn't reel it in.
Adam Jones having a good night tonight and really a special year. He's covering that time. Good job by Johnny Manziel, staying in the pocket. Nowhere to run anyway, but you can see Adam Jones is underneath Barnage, so that was a nice safe throw by Johnny Manziel.
Let's see what Andy Lee can do. He's had 2 punts under 30 yards to go along with a 54-yarder. This is 4th punt of the night. Cleveland now with a couple of 3-and-outs in this half. This one's better. A spiral that sends Tate backpedaling to the 17. And he is taken down by Duke Johnson at the 18. We'll check the flag. This goes against Sensei. Could put the Bengals back inside the 10.
During the return, legal block in the back, receiving team 99. After distance to the goal, first down.
So Lee this time lets loose a 56-yard punt plus the penalty. The Browns have changed field position. We'll be right back to Cincinnati. That's 8-time Pro Bowl tackle Joe Thomas, who's mic'd up tonight for us.
I got you. Oh, I appreciate the sorry. Thanks.
Is that great? That was Pecco who hit him a little bit late, and he came over to apologize, and Joe said, hey, thank you for the sorry.
Thank you for the day. Yeah. You know, I'm not surprised by Pecco either. You know, he's just such a, tremendous player, a big guy, powerful, but one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
The penalty on the Bengals, the first of the night on Cincinnati. Straight ahead. Try to go with Hill, but he's just back to the line of scrimmage where he meets Desmond Bryant. Next Thursday again. You're looking forward to this one? Rex Ryan returning to take on the Jets.
I am, and I know the Jet fans are going to be pretty anxious to see Rex Ryan, too, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, no question. Next Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network. Jets will be hosting first, though, Jacksonville this Sunday, Buffalo at home against Miami. There's a 2nd and 10 play from the gun, and Dalton turns what could have been a sack into a 2-yard gain. Armani Bryant, Kruger both there. 3rd and 8 coming up.
I'll tell you, Jim, they're trying a little bit of everything, and it's a great job of keeping Andy Dalton in the pocket. Bryant comes around, makes the sack, and as you watch it, they're just not separating from a defensive backfield that you have said, look, it is beat up.
Armani Bryant, 7th-round pick back in 2013. You've been impressed watching him on tape.
Well, yeah, the two things that stand out when you talk about this Cleveland defensive front, it's the Bryants. Both of them, Armonte and Desmond, both playing very well.
Big 3rd down here for this Browns defense. 3rd and 8, can they get him off the field? Dalton's pass right on the mark for Green. On the sideline, and a 1st down, gain of 18.
Well, they finally got it down the field. And they've been running so many inside routes that this time it's a little bit of inside move and goes out, and Williams cannot stay with him, and feet are down. Clean catch.
It's Hill. Breaking out with his longest run of the evening. Picks up about 13.
Good job. 1st down, quick snap, got him going, and they got over-pursued that time. Danny Shelton gets a little out of position, goes down the line, and then Craig Robertson also gets too far down the line and can't get the cutback. When you watch this, you see Cleveland's defense. Mike Pett, noted for his defense, he goes, for 2 years I've been trying to fix our run defense, and a lot of times it's a breakdown, over-pursuing, or people just trying to make a play and not doing their job.
Dalton, another quick toss. He gets back on his feet. It was Tate. Tate's 2nd catch of the season, smartly realizing he wasn't touched down, and he takes it for 22.
Well, we said it. You play off top of the screen. Gilbert giving ground, and what's going to happen? Andy Dalton is going to throw the quick route outside.
Here's Gilbert.
Knee down, he touched him.
Oh, yeah, you got to challenge this. That's a 22-yard play.
There he comes.
Challenge flag comes out in time. You got to think Pettin and the Browns will win that argument.
Cleveland is challenging that the runner was touched down by contact. Game clock operator, will you please set the game clock to 5 seconds, please? 5 seconds, thank you.
Here is another look at it. Gilbert comes up.
Oh, yeah. Looks like he definitely touched him. Even Gilbert, as he touched him, jumps up and makes him see the body language. He knows he should be down.
That's at about the 47 on the Cincy side of the field. So this would be a difference of 17 yards if the Browns get the overturn, which we both expect.
Look, good challenge by Mike Pettin. I think he's going to win it. You look at the score, it's 17-10. A field goal, of course, you give it up. That would be huge. So you got to stop them right here.
And we were talking about the Bills and the Jets on Thursday Night Football next week. Pettin's been defensive coordinator for both the Bills and the Jets in his career before getting his first chance as a head coach in the NFL. Son of a hugely successful high school coach in Pennsylvania. In fact, the winningest high school coach in Pennsylvania history when he retired. Mike Sr., his dad, who still breaks down the film. They send him to him.
Yeah, it's great.
Goes on his iPad and lends some advice.
You know, what kind of coach was your dad? You said, well, there wasn't, what do you want to say, videos and all that back. He was a little more demonstrative than I am.
Yeah.
I know the camera's on me, so I can't act out. I got to be careful. He goes,
I don't want to put on a show.
Yeah.
After review, the ruling on the field will be changed. The runner was touched down by contact on the Cincinnati 46-yard line. It will be second down. Cleveland will not be charged a timeout.
So both coaches have won a challenge here tonight, and it will be a difference of 17 yards. Gilbert.
With a good look at it, definitely down. You know, go back to Mike Pettin, his dad. What's his dad? Watches the games on his E-pad. You know, he says, hey, I don't know if it's called an E-pad, but that's what he thinks it is.
Well, we're going to go to quarter number 4 with a 7-point game. Cincinnati 17, Cleveland 10. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Over the top to Eifert. He's across for the touchdown. A rollout, flips it now. It's caught. Eifert again. Manziel chased, fires, finds Johnson. You just saw the game's 3 touchdowns. 17-10, quarter number 4. There you see total yardage by quarters. The Browns did not manage a first down in the third. Here's a handoff to Hill. He falls down near the 50. It'll be a third down coming up for Cincinnati. Andy Dalton now has connected on his last 10 passes. That ties his longest streak of the season.
Well, big third down here. I don't think Cleveland's going to take a chance and blitz. Just because hard to match up with a beat-up defensive secondary against the tight end and the wide receivers for the Bengals.
44's down, go to 56. Fumble, 18. Raise up.
Drop back out of the gun and wide open. Marvin Jones sets up a tackle and rides all the way down to the 25. Third downs beating up the Browns here tonight. That's the 6th out of 11 occasions they've converted.
Yeah, good job. Really, Andy Dalton does a great job of staying alive. It's alive, moves in the pocket and finds Marvin Jones. And just like the opening drive, oh my gosh, Marvin Jones slipped and then got back up. Just like the opening drive of the game, an uncovered receiver because the defense did something different and they made a mental mistake. and gave up big yardage to the Bengals offense.
Jones with another big play for 25, and here's a reverse to Sanu. With Dalton out in front, leading the brigade. Then Sanu takes it home for the touchdown.
Well, Mohamed Sanu, Jim, he throws passes, runs reverses.
Wearing a microphone tonight for us. We may have a little reaction. Who knows? He just polishes off the final 25 yards of a 91-yard drive.
Here he comes in the slot. Good fake up the field. And nobody on the backside looking for it. Cooper, a rookie, number 96, has the outside force. He's not there. One of the big problems. See 96 looking for the runner.
Now look downfield. Whitworth gets a block. And that's A.J. Green shielding as member of the secondary as well.
They overcommit on the defensive side. That's why they give up big plays.
Nugent, good on the point after. Well, you talk about their clever play calling. Been waiting for something like this tonight. It tricked them. Untouched to the end zone. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Corona, who invites you to find your beach, and by Pizza Hut. Experience the flavor of now by ordering at pizzahut.com. This is supposed to be a haunted house right here. The Cincinnati Music Hall, completed in 1878 over Pauper's Cemetery. We've seen some ghosts in there. Meanwhile, it is amazing how creative, we talked about it several times, and give us a little perspective of how clever they are at Cincinnati.
Well, they got a couple things they do really well. We've talked about that tonight, but they always have formation, screens, and they caught the defense being too aggressive. And what do you do to it if defense is too aggressive? You run a reverse or a screen. So they caught them over pursuing, kind of like New England's offense. They got to answer for everything, Jim.
Would you say they're right up there with New England, two of the
Yes, I do.
And the most creative?
As we do it, let's look at the speed of Sanu. Gets over 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, Dalton was running out there pretty good, too.
Yeah, he was right with him. Andy Dalton can run, and we saw this in practice the other day. The respect, you know, I know I'm not just overstating it either. The team, they all gravitate around Andy Dalton. So it's kind of fun to see a young guy grow up and cover the games over the years.
Sanu's first rush touchdown since 2010 when he's at Rutgers playing the game against UConn. And here goes Manziel turning around and throwing it out of bounds. I mentioned maybe Sanu had something to say as he was taken off for the end zone. Let's check it out. Mic'd up.
Good job, dude. Good job, baby. I see you, baby. Whoa! Hey!
Yeah, I think that said it all.
Hey, come and give me that ball back.
That last play, great job by Adam Jones, not getting out of position. Manziel, reverse field, nowhere to throw.
2nd and 10. Nowhere to go here either, and they're going to get to him. Their first sack of the night. Carlos Dunlap.
Now, Carlos Dunlap has been close many times tonight. Number 96 on the outside, and he's paired. You got a double team, number 97 there in the middle, Geno Atkins. So you're going to get a lot of one-on-one blocks if you're a defensive end for the Bengals defensive line, because if you don't double team Geno Atkins inside, he's going to get to the quarterback.
And again, Cleveland without a first down in this half. Facing 3rd and 15. And for the second straight play, they get to him. It's Atkins this time.
Boy, it looks like a three-man rush, and he's on the center, just one-on-one against Alex Mack, right in the middle of the screen. Well, I was wrong. It was actually Batonio that he was on and not the center. They passed him off. But Geno Atkins is back to the way he was in 2013. That's why they don't have to blitz a lot, Jim, because they're so good with their front four defensive linemen.
Lee from the end zone. Watch out for Adam Jones from the 37. He's going to reverse field twice. Barney's got a hand on him, and then it's finished off by Hewitt, the long snapper. Things starting to break down for the Browns. Just gave up a 91-yard touchdown drive. Saw the quarterback get sacked for the first 2 times tonight on back-to-back plays. Tonight's Skycam being presented by Mazda. It's going to be fascinating in the AFC, the second half of the season. Cincinnati, Denver, and New England all have such big leads in their divisions. And then playing for one of those first-round byes. Those 3, you have to figure, it's going to be that way to the end. Jockeying for a first-round bye as Gio Bernard stiff arms and gets out for about 12. You know, Andy Dalton drafted in the 2nd round out of TCU back in 2011. And look what's happened by comparison. Quarterbacks who have started since Andy came on board 4 years ago. On the Cleveland side, from Campbell to Hoyer, you saw earlier Colt McCoy, Josh McCown, Manziel. That's 9. Dalton hasn't missed a game. There he is, going up top for the long ball to Green. And well covered that time by Tremont Williams.
Yeah, stability of the football team, the coaching staff here in Cincinnati. You said it early in the game, Marvin Lewis, they realize the organization, they're in that period where they've got to make that next jump, win a playoff game, and they think they got a team that's got a chance to do it this year, of course.
And how about the way they built the team with so many guys that have really come through their own system? 41 players on the roster have only played for the Bengals. It's 3rd most in the league. Green Bay leads that stat. Here is Gio Bernard down to the 30 and another first down. The other thing about the way they construct their roster, there is a heavy emphasis at Cincinnati about going with players out of the Big 5 conferences. There you go, 49 on the active roster, played for only one team at Green Bay, then the Rams, then the Bengals.
They've always been this way, Jim. I've always watched, I look at rosters all the time, and Mike Brown, there's the owner right there in the middle with the hat on, and they like big school players. They adapt quicker. I'm sure that's the thinking to the NFL.
That's Bernard for another 6. When you say players from big-time conferences, when you take the Power 5 conferences and you toss aside for a minute the punter, the kicker, the long snapper, 46 of the 50 on the roster came from Power 5 conferences. That's an astonishing number.
Well, we brought up to Marvin Lewis, and he kind of laughed. He goes, yeah, and we really like the SEC schools a lot too, or teams that play physical football because they're ready to come in and play NFL style of play.
Highly recruited players playing in big-time schools and big-time games before they get here. As Bernard has another 2. Here's that number, 15 out of the SEC.
How about that? Big Ten, both conferences, physical, a lot of I formation. It's like he said, sometimes you can get a defensive lineman, and they've played where they've never really played a football team that lines up in an I formation and runs right at you.
This is the whole roster, by the way, including, again, the kicker, the punter, the long snapper. But you take those first 5 lines that you see there and adds up to 46 of the 50. And they come from those Power 5. It's amazing. Jake Fisher, backup lineman who has been targeted this year and made a catch, is lined up wide to the left, but Dalton's going to take up right up the middle and pick up the first, sliding for the first.
Really smart. Andy Dalton has not taken one chance with the football tonight. He's 18 of 23. They spread the field. Boy, that was in his throwing motion, pulls the football down. Nobody open, so he does the next really quick reaction. And, Jim, you and I have talked about that now. That's part of what you got to do as a quarterback in this league. Make a decision. And if it's not there, you got to move to throw or move to pick up a first down.
Back in the red zone where they have that high conversion to touchdown percentage. But that play stopped immediately by Kruger. Replay every game. Listen live on game day with NFL Game Pass. Now at a special price. Visit NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial.
Well, they got this offense is rolling. Total yards the first half, how about that? 201 to 7. So whatever Marvin Lewis told Tracy Wolfson after halftime, they got it straightened out on the defensive side when they went in that locker room.
Well, you saw the yardage numbers, first downs in the half, 11 to none. Second and 10. He's going punt fake to the end zone. He goes. It's Eifert with the triple crown tonight.
Well, they've been throwing so many inside breaking routes. In other words, those quick slants to the tight end, to the wide receivers. So it was time. Hugh Jackson calls it perfectly, and it's a double move, and Williams can do nothing about it. Watch him go up the sideline. I mean, Jim, if you've been defending that inside passing route all night, what makes you think now they're not going to do it? So timing is everything when it comes to play calling.
Eifert's
call and a good throw.
Tied the franchise single-season touchdown mark by a tight end we showed you earlier. He ties Rodney Holman and Bob Trumpy, and ties Trumpy as the only other Cincinnati tight end to catch 3 in a game. Trumpy did it against Houston back in a game in 1969. Tyler Eifert, what a red zone weapon he is. Dalton finds him for the 3rd time this evening. Well, he's certainly on his way, isn't he, to having the best season ever by a Bengal tight end. Matching records tonight, 3 touchdowns in the game. Leads the league now in touchdown receptions on the season. Raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana, just 25 years old. He's going to be the subject, by the way, of our Throwback Thursday every week.
He should be.
And it's a good one. And here's a run-out attempt coming up. That's more to the 24. And this video coming up, Throwback Thursday of Tyler Eifert, courtesy of his mother, Julie. Here you go.
Who's your favorite basketball player?
Michael Jordan.
Well, watch him here.
A football player or basketball player?
Football player.
I love these throwbacks because I just can never get over it. 2 years old, the size that he was at 2 years old.
You heard his father, Greg, asking him questions from behind the camera. His dad, Greg, played basketball at Purdue back in the early 80s. And there's a pass thrown in the direction of Barnidge, the Cleveland tight end who's been on such a roll this season. But tonight, 2 catches, 35 yards for Barnidge.
Well, look at that. It's gone. They just can't get anything going in the second half. This is the problem with the, can you run your whole offense, your passing offense? Is Johnny Manziel ready for that? Probably not. So when you can't get out of the pocket and make plays, there's just so little this offense can do.
Off the hands of Gabriel, and 3rd down coming up. You've seen a maturity in Manziel on the field. Of course, there still is another issue he's dealing with presently, ongoing investigation by the NFL about an incident that happened with Manziel and his girlfriend back on October the 12th. And nothing has come out on that to this point. There was an argument off the side of an interstate in Avon, Ohio. Here's a 3rd and 10. And they finally get a 1st down in the half. Pass, no. Intended for Bo.
No, really, the receivers, just nothing they can really do. But what do? They're not. Hey, Paul Gunther, defensive coordinator, is just not going to sit back and let Johnny Manziel have a free run of this. Really good pickup by the Cleveland offensive line and the running back. But Dwayne Bowe, Manziel's trying to throw a back shoulder throw, but I'm sure there hasn't been much practice between the two trying to make that type of throw.
So they have this 92-yard touchdown drive right before the half, and in the second half they cannot pick up a single 1st down.
What did Marvin Lewis say to Tracy? We got to keep it in the pocket. They've done a very good job of it, and they just can't make the plays from the pocket.
This is Tate. Tate getting the edge. Flag is out. And he is shoved out after a long return. It was Tank Carter who pushed him to the sideline with 7 minutes to go. Flag is back at the 32-yard line near the area where Tate caught it.
During the return, legal block in the back, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down. Timeout.
Second penalty of the night on special teams of Cincinnati. 7 minutes left here.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here. You don't live in Cleveland.
Our former colleague Sam Weish threw a little fuel on the fire of this rivalry back in 1989.
So. I've seen it 100 times. I laugh every time.
I do too. It's classic. As Dalton goes down to the pocket and has a little throwaway. Just a little reminder here that Sunday at 9 on NFL Network, some of the greatest quarterbacks ever sound off on Peyton's record-breaking career. NFL Game Day morning live Sunday at 9 only on NFL Network. Peyton coming off a superb performance. A Sunday night win against against Green Bay, and we will see Denver at Indianapolis on Sunday. And of course, later in the season, Cincinnati plays at Denver on the last Monday of the year, which could be huge in deciding this whole seeding process. As Hill has to step out of a tackle from Dansby, and you know they're going to be in the playoffs. Here they are. They're going to be 8-0 here tonight. Onto the playoffs for the 5th year in Dalton's 5 years. And when you talk to people, the national media, you go on these shows, everybody says, yeah, but Dalton, he hasn't won in the postseason.
That's right.
You know, that's all they want to talk about is that one game that's going to come up here.
What did I say to you? The best thing that Andy Dalton, if he wouldn't have went to the playoffs his first couple of years, if they wouldn't have made it, you'd be sitting there, boy, look at the maturity. He's coming forward and all these things. But the fact that they've been there 4 in a row and lost, look, there's only one thing that's going to stop it, Jim. Get to the playoffs, and they got to win.
36. He's got a connection again with Eifert out to the 45. But I'll say this. Of those 4 playoff losses, how many of them were they really supposed to win?
The one here against San Diego.
The one against San Diego. We were here for that game. And it was a bad performance by everybody. Dalton didn't play well, but they played 2 games on the road in the playoffs at Houston. They're not favored to win those games.
Nope.
And then, of course, the loss last year to Indianapolis when they were completely depleted and didn't have, as you mentioned earlier, the likes of A.J. Green and many others.
Rex Burkhead was a wide receiver, a running back for him in that game last year.
Yeah. Hands up.
And that's Hill giving back a couple of yards. Now, quarterbacks to lose their first 4 postseason starts.
So it's going to be
Andy Dalton. And how about this? Y.A. Tittle.
Wow.
By the way, we've been talking about Peyton. Peyton's first playoff win didn't happen until year 6 for him. So, the Red Rifle. That's still to come. Sanu. Ahead for about 8.
Let me phrase it this way. Last thing about Andy Dalton real quick. He played in the celebrity softball game here for All-Star Weekend.
Yep.
He comes to bat doing it. They boo him. So he turned it around. How did he turn everything around? Well, he hit 2 home runs. It was about as far as you can hit a home run. Then they cheered him. And it's kind of the same thing when you think about this football, what's going on here. There's only one way you're going to get the cheers. The national media, even here in Cincinnati, they got to continue the way they're playing now. Hope they stay healthy. Like you said, this team's going to be in the playoffs. And what keeps you motivated is the fact there's 2 other teams out there in the AFC that are undefeated too.
Timeout.
First charge timeout, Cincinnati.
Bengals with 4:19 to go. Yeah, it gets tiresome at times that things get boiled down to just one single thing. Like, you can't do this or can't do that.
Well, that's the age
doesn't
we live
matter.
in, Jim.
It doesn't matter. He had, 47 wins coming in on his career into this game. Only a number exceeded in that span by Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Got his 23rd road win at Pittsburgh on Sunday, which ties the most in the history of anybody playing his first 5 years in the league. By the way, he's going to break that record. He's got more road games to come.
You're not going to win this battle. Every time we do a Bengals game, and I know, it gets me upset too, because I know how hard it is to play in the league and how hard it is to win a game. And to have the success and put up the numbers that what he has done, it's awesome. But it's just, it's the age we live in now. That's the way they're judged. I think it's unfair, but you can't change it.
3rd and 2. They stacked him at the line, still don't have him down, and Hill finally has to surrender back at the line of scrimmage. John Hughes, the third, got to him first.
Oh, look at this group. Boy, that's...
You know what's interesting about this? Is look at these teams that all, of course, Green Bay, somebody had to lose that Green Bay-Denver game. All of these teams got off to these undefeated starts. You're looking at the 3 AFC unbeatens at New England, Cincinnati, and Denver, and, Green Bay, which plays at Carolina, an unbeaten, the other unbeaten this weekend. 1 loss on the year. So they've carried on. They've carried on what they've been doing here these past 4 to 6 years. Blocked by Moore. Marlon Moore gets in and able to block the punt of Hubert.
Chris Tabor, the special teams coach.
He
just fought his way to the inside. Yes, I was trying to pick him out. He was inside. Thought he might be the edge guy that did it with speed, but no, he got an edge and used power to block the punt.
Sets up the Browns at the 37. Got a completion to Bowe. His second catch of the game down to the 21, and again the first down of the half for Cleveland.
Well, what you do here in a situation like this, Cincinnati going to play, it looks like they're going to play it safe, but it's just more good reps for this offense and, of course, for Johnny Manziel.
Manziel trying to get out of traffic. Throws it through the end zone. 2:51 to go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, too, as this game ends, Jim. I know that we talked to Mike Pettin last night about it, and, everybody, I heard it all over TV today. What would Cleveland do if Johnny Manziel plays well and they win? And, honestly, I thought if he played really well here tonight, and if they had a chance to maybe keep it close or upset the Cincinnati Bengals, that he might have been the starting quarterback in their next game against Pittsburgh. But from what I've seen tonight with the offense, not against Johnny Manziel, I think they'll go back to Josh McCown.
2nd and 10. And the receiver fell down. It was Barnage. No, he hasn't played poorly.
No, not at all.
They've got a game at Pittsburgh coming up next Sunday.
But then Josh McCown has played really well, so that you got to factor that in. You look at that schedule. What did I just say to you at a commercial? I said the Cleveland Browns, they need a bye week. Just the trade rumors, the injuries, your quarterback being hurt, so much going on. They need to regroup, get rested up, get healthy, and come back out and finish the year strong.
Well, they get the bye after Pittsburgh. They actually then don't play again until 2 weeks later on a Monday. Here's Manziel from the pocket through the back of the end zone. They have one game coming up after they play Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh game is the only one in a 25-day stretch. So they will get some time away. The mini bye here, the bye coming up after the next game. And now it's going to be 4th and 10.
Tell you what, Cincinnati's defensive backfield, they have had some night. He did break the pocket, hurt his zone a couple times, but when he's now moving around their man-to-man coverage, they are staying right with these wide receivers.
He's completed only one of his last 9 attempts. A threatening blitz. Here they come. Gets it away. It's caught by Bo. Can he fight for the yardage? He does.
Yeah, that's a really good play by Johnny Manziel. I'll tell you the other thing they've done well tonight when you talk about Cleveland's offense, and they've only got 10 points, but they're picking up the blitzes. And since he has shown some, what you wouldn't expect them to blitz that last play, they pick it up, give Johnny Manziel some time, and he did a great job of throwing it off his back foot, getting the completion.
This is where Barnidge has been so dangerous this year. Again, the protection breaks down. He got hit when he threw it, and it's incomplete. That was Michael Johnson, as we reach the 2-minute warning, who got the hit on the quarterback. Watch this. Ooh. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's still finger-licking good. And by T-Mobile, switch to the Data Strong network. And a reminder that the Mazda post-game show coming up in just a few minutes. We're coming out of the 2-minute warning with the Browns at the 10-yard line. Andy Dalton is going to be on the set after the game on the post-game show. I don't know if he knows that yet, but he is.
I don't think he'll mind.
The 2nd and goal. And here they come. They've got him. It's Dunlap.
Well, just the coverage, nowhere to throw the football. And Carlos Dunlap and this group, they're just too good to hold out that long. And he's got his buddy back on the other side, Michael Johnson coming back from Tampa Bay. Geno Atkins is healthy. Vontaze Burfict back in the lineup.
3rd and goal. Sliding down to about the 12. You say you're talking about Dunlap and his buddies. On the other side, on the offensive side, he's got his buddy A.J. Green. They used to compete against each other down in South Carolina back in high school. Basketball and football.
How about A.J. Green? Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball
in the state of South Carolina.
Wow.
Pretty impressive. You don't hear that all the time.
No, you don't.
4th and goal. And might have been past the line of scrimmage. Throws, and it's dropped by Kirkpatrick, who would have had to have beaten one guy, Greco. Otherwise, it could have been a 100-yard return. So,
and that penalty will be declined. Cincinnati, 1st down.
Oh, there you go. He was past the line. So coming up next, the Mazda post-game show. Again, interviews and analysis of tonight's game. You're going to have the Bengals at 8-0. And the Browns about to fall to 2-7, the 4th consecutive loss. As for Cincinnati, they've got a date with Houston here, November 16th. At Arizona. That should be quite a game there.
Yes. St. Louis.
And then the second matchup of this series will be in Cleveland, December the 6th.
Well, let me say this real quick about the Cincinnati Bengals. You look at the team in every phase, line on both sides, receivers, defensive backs, safeties. There's really not a weakness on this team, which we talked about many times tonight.
And what about Manziel?
Well, listen, I thought he played well at times, but you can see the offense, the limitations that are on it because he's just not ready for all the drop-back passing game, which is really what they have been doing this year. So a good effort by Johnny Manziel tonight, made some plays, but the best team won, that's for sure.
Well, last week Cleveland was up 13 on Arizona, got outscored 24-0 in the second half. Tonight it was a 14-10 Cincinnati lead at the intermission, a tight game, but then Cleveland gets outscored 17-0 in the second half on this occasion. Dalton tonight 78% completion percentage, the third highest of his career. He had not played well the last couple of years on Thursday night, but he certainly did on this occasion too. 234 yards and 3 touchdowns. No mistakes.
That big 8-0, boy, that'll give you. Listen, you could feel the energy of this team when we were at practice. They're building something. 8-0 that they're going to be. Look, they're going to be right in this till the end with the other 2 unbeaten teams.
Josh McCown comes over. Give a nod to Dalton. The first team in the league now to 8 wins. Cincinnati winning it 31-10. Coming up next, the Mazda post-game show. For Phil, Tracy, Mike Carey back in the studio. Jim Nance saying so long from Cincinnati. You've been watching Thursday Night Football.